There is something Our Lady needs you to know today, not tomorrow, not when your life is more organized, when your faith is stronger, when you feel more deserving of the love that has been offered to you since before your very first breath. Today, now, in this exact moment in which you stop to listen to this message. In 1 John 2:5, it is written that whoever keeps his word, in that person the love of God is truly perfected. This is not merely a biblical promise, it is a personal invitation, urgent, full of grace, addressed directly to you, and Our Lady, who kept every word in her heart with a faithfulness that endured even the deepest pain, is here today to lead you back to that love, to remind you that the silence you have been feeling is not abandonment, that the exhaustion you are carrying has not gone unnoticed, and that this dawn, this specific dawn, can be the beginning of something you cannot yet imagine. Breathe deeply. Before anything else, before the day takes hold of you and distributes your attention in 1,000 different directions, breathe. Let the air come in slowly. Let your shoulders drop. Let the weight you woke up carrying rest for a moment, because you do not need to hold it alone right now. You are here, and that is already a form of prayer. Perhaps you arrived at this moment carrying something that no one around you knows exists, a tiredness that does not come from the body, that comes from inside, from a place that sleep cannot reach and rest cannot cure, that feeling of being present in everything and belonging to nothing, of fulfilling every obligation, answering when called, smiling at the right moments, and still feeling, right at the center of your chest, that something is missing. If you know that weight, then you need to hear what comes next, because Our Lady knows that weight too. She is not a distant figure, reserved for altars and moments of crisis. She is a mother, and mothers recognize exhaustion in their children's eyes before the children even know they are tired. She sees you now. She sees exactly where you are, what you are carrying, and how long you have been carrying it without asking for help. And she is not here to demand anything from you. She is here to hold you. There is a theology of silence that the modern world has forgotten to teach. We live surrounded by noise that enters through the phone screen before we even get out of bed, noise that fills every pause, every empty space, every moment that could have been quiet. And in that constant flood of stimulation, silence began to feel strange, uncomfortable, as if the absence of sound were a sign that something is wrong. But the great saints knew something we need to recover. It is in silence that God speaks the loudest. It is in silence that Mary draws closest. You do not need the right words. You do not need a flawless faith or a heart without doubts. Our Lady did not appear to the powerful, to those who had everything figured out, to those who had never wavered. She appeared to the simple, to the humble, to those who, just like you in this moment, were simply present, with open hearts, even broken ones. So let the silence be sacred now. Do not try to fill it. Do not try to fix it. Just stay in it, like someone who stops at the edge of a river and realizes, for the first time, how much they needed that pause. Perhaps it has been a long time since you felt anything when you tried to pray. Perhaps the words come out but seem to go nowhere. Perhaps you tried at some point, and the feeling of emptiness was so great that you gradually gave up, not all at once, not with a conscious decision, but slowly, the way we give up on things that hurt too much to keep trying. If that is where you are, then this message is especially for you, because prayer is not always feeling something. Prayer is many times showing up even when you feel nothing. It is standing before the silence and saying, I am here. It is opening the hand that has been clenched for so long and saying, I have nothing left to offer. I am just here. And that simple surrender, stripped of performance and demand, that is enough. It is more than enough. Grace is not achieved. It is received. And to receive it, all you need to do is stop, breathe, and allow the love that never stopped existing for you to finally find space to enter. So do that now. Stop, breathe, and say, out loud or only in your heart, however it comes, however it is possible for you in this moment, Mother, I am here. I don't know how to pray properly. I am tired, but I came, and I need you. It does not need to be more than that. Because before any transformation, there is silence. Before the dawn, there is the darkest part of the night. And before the most powerful prayer of your life, there is exactly this moment in which you stop, you surrender, and you allow yourself to be found. Our Lady is here. She always has been. And what she needs you to know, you are about to find out. There is a verse in the Bible that most people read too quickly. It sits in the first letter of John, chapter 2, verse 5. And on the surface, it looks simple, almost too simple for the weight it carries. But if you slow down, if you let the words settle instead of rushing past them, something happens, something opens. Whoever keeps his word, in that person the love of God is truly perfected. Read it again, not as a theological statement, not as a rule to follow or a standard to measure yourself against. Read it as a message, as something spoken directly to you, on this specific morning, by someone who loves you more than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. Whoever keeps his word, not whoever understands it perfectly, not whoever never doubted, never drifted away, never went through a season where faith seemed like just a word they used to believe in, not whoever has a spotless record of devotion or a spiritual life that always appears organized. Whoever keeps it. There is a profound difference between understanding something and keeping something. You can understand a promise and still walk away from it, but to keep something, to hold it close even when it is heavy, to return to it even after being away, to protect it not because it is easy but because something deep inside you knows it matters, that is an entirely different act. That is an act of love. Our Lady kept the word her entire life, not always understanding it. There were moments, standing at the foot of the cross watching her son suffer in ways no mother should ever have to witness, when keeping the word must have required everything she had, when holding on to the promise must have felt like holding on to something invisible, impossible, almost cruel in its silence, and yet she kept it, not because she felt no pain, not because she had no doubts, but because she had learned through a lifetime of surrender that the love of God is perfected not in the moments of easy faith, but in the moments when you choose to keep the word, even when everything in you wants to let go. And that is exactly what she wants to tell you today. Think for a moment about something you let go of. It does not have to be grand. It could be a promise you made to yourself and kept postponing. It could be a prayer you stopped praying because it seemed to make no difference. It could be a certainty you once had about the love of God that slowly dissolved, silently while life was happening all around you. What was it that you let go of? Because Our Lady is here today to tell you that it is not too late to pick it back up. Not with heroism, not with a dramatic turnaround or a grand decision, but in the simplest and most powerful way that exists, opening your hand, breathing deeply, and saying, "I want to keep it again." That is enough to begin. Fear has a very convincing voice. It whispers that you have gone too far, that too much time has passed, that the distance that has grown between you and God is too wide to cross now, that people like you, with your specific history, your specific failures, your specific doubts, are not the kind of people this promise was made for. But the Word says otherwise. The Word says that you were known before you were formed, that nothing, not height nor depth, not the present nor the future, can separate you from the love that has been pursuing you since before your first breath. The Word says that the one who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it, that even when you cannot find words to pray, the Spirit intercedes with groanings too deep for words. These are not poetic decorations, they are declarations. And Our Lady, who kept every one of these words, who treasured them and pondered them in her heart long before the world understood what they meant, she is asking you today to keep them too. Not perfectly, not without struggle, but faithfully, tenderly, the way you keep something precious, not by gripping it so tightly it breaks, but by returning to it again and again, every time life pulls you away. So do this now. Place your hand over your heart, literally, physically right now, and feel your own chest. Feel the heartbeat, that heart that has carried so much, that has been broken and mended and kept beating anyway. And say to that heart, to Our Lady, to God who is listening to every word you cannot bring yourself to say out loud, I want to keep your word. I don't know how to do that alone, but I want to. And I ask that your love be perfected in me, not when I deserve it, but now, exactly as I am. Stay in that prayer for a moment. There is no rush. The day can wait a few more moments. This moment of honest surrender and genuine desire, is worth more than anything the day has to offer you, because it is here, in this place of simple surrender, that the love of God begins to be perfected in you. Not someday, not when everything is resolved, not when your faith is stronger, your doubts are quieter, your life is less complicated. Now, there's something sacred about the first moments of a day, before the notifications, before the demands, before the world reminds you of everything you owe it and everyone who needs something from you. There is a window, brief, tender, almost fragile, between the moment you open your eyes and the moment the day takes over. A threshold, a sacred in-between where, if you are paying attention, you can feel that the distance between heaven and earth is thinner than it will be at any other point in the next 24 hours. Most people pass through it without noticing, but you can choose to stop. You can choose, today, tomorrow, and in every morning that comes after, to begin the day not with the weight of everything that needs to be done, but with the recognition that you are not doing any of it alone, that there is a presence, maternal, constant, quietly powerful, that walks beside you in every ordinary day of your ordinary life, and that presence is waiting for nothing more than for you to greet her. Good morning, Our Lady. It sounds simple, and it is. That is precisely the point. We have been taught in so many ways and by so many voices that the sacred requires complexity, that real real prayer needs the right words, the right posture, the right emotional state. That approaching God, or approaching Mary, requires a kind of spiritual preparation that most of us, in the middle of ordinary lives, simply do not have the time or the energy to achieve. But Mary herself was an ordinary woman living an ordinary life when the angel found her. She was not in a temple. She was not in deep prayer, surrounded by candles and incense, with her heart perfectly prepared. She was simply there, present, open, going about the ordinary rhythm of her day, when grace interrupted everything, and her response was not a theological treatise. It was not a carefully prepared spiritual statement. It was the response of a heart that, despite everything it did not understand, despite all the fear and confusion and impossibility of what was being asked, chose to say yes. Let it be done to me according to your word. That was her prayer, and it changed the world. So when you say, "Good morning, Our Lady," do not underestimate what you are doing. You are not just greeting a saint. You are aligning yourself with the most powerful yes ever spoken by a human heart. You are placing yourself for the first time today in the hands of someone who knows what it means to carry something too large for one person and keep walking anyway. You are beginning your day not with the weight of everything you need to accomplish, but with the remembrance that you are not accomplishing any of it alone. That changes everything, not dramatically, necessarily, not with thunder and revelations, but in the way real things change, slowly, gently, almost imperceptibly, until one day you look back and realize that the quality of your life, the quality of your relationships, the quality of your presence in the world around you is different, softer, more patient, more full of a grace that did not come from you, but passed through you. This is what a morning prayer does. Not necessarily the long ones, though those have their place and their power, but the small, faithful, daily ones, the ones that ask nothing of you except the willingness to begin. When you say "Good morning, Our Lady," you are practicing presence. You are training your heart to look up before it looks around. You are choosing in the smallest possible way to remember that this day, with all its ordinary weight and all its hidden grace, does not begin with you. It begins with love. And love, as the first letter of John reminds us, is not perfected in the grand gestures. It is perfected in the keeping, in the daily, humble, sometimes exhausted act of returning to the word, of holding on, of saying yes again, even when yesterday's yes felt like it cost you everything. Whoever keeps his word, in that person the love of God is truly perfected. Not someday, not when you have everything figured out, not when your faith is stronger, your doubts are quieter, your life is less complicated. Now, here, in this morning, in this breath, in this simple, sacred greeting that says, "I am still here, I still believe, I am still yours." So do this now before the day takes over. Stop completely. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. Breathe deeply. Let the air come in. Let the air go out. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your heart beating. And say, however it comes out with whatever voice you have today, whether it is strong or weak, steady or trembling, "Good morning, Our Lady. I offer you this day, with everything it will bring, with everything I do not yet know, with everything that frightens me and everything I hope for. Stay with me, walk with me, and when I forget that I am not alone, remind me, gently, the way only a mother knows how. Stay in that prayer for a moment. There is no need to rush. Let the words settle. Let the silence after them be sacred too, because it is in that silence, after the prayer, not before, that the answer tends to come. Not always as a voice, not always as a clear and unmistakable feeling. Sometimes as a lightness, sometimes as a thought that seems not to have come from you, sometimes simply as the ability to take the next step without the weight you had a moment before. That is grace. Learn to recognize it in its simple forms, in its everyday forms, in the forms that do not look like a miracle until you look closely and realize it was exactly what you needed. You will have difficult days after this one. Days when the weight comes back. Days when the words feel hollow and the silence feels long, and you will have to choose, again, always again, whether to hold on or let go. Days when doubt returns quietly and persistently, and you will have to decide whether it gets the last word or whether the last word is yours. Let it be yours. Not because you are certain of everything, not because faith never wavers, but because you have learned something that no difficult season will ever be able to take from you, that the act of returning is itself a form of faith, that every morning you stop, breathe, and say, "Good morning, Our Lady." You are not just speaking into silence. You are weaving yourself, thread by thread, into something larger and more enduring than your own strength. Grace does not arrive once and then leave you on your own. It arrives in the morning, and the next morning, and the one after that, always fresh, always sufficient, always waiting for the moment you open your hands and allow yourself to receive it. Our Lady is not a figure from a distant past. She is a presence, maternal, constant, quietly steadfast, who walks alongside the ordinary days of ordinary people, asking only for the openness to be noticed. And the love of God is not something you need to chase or earn or manufacture inside yourself on the days when you have nothing left. It is already there. It always has been, waiting, like the morning light, for the moment you finally stop closing the curtains and let it in. This is what Our Lady needed you to know. Not a complicated doctrine, not an elaborate spiritual system, just this, simple, ancient, and more powerful than anything the noise of the world has to offer. Keep the word. Return to it on the hard days. Rest in it on the quiet ones. Let it be the thing that remains when everything else shifts. Let it speak louder than fear, louder than doubt, louder than the voice that says it is too late or too far or too much. And every morning, every single morning without exception, begin with a greeting that places your day in the hands of the one who knows better than anyone what it means to carry something sacred through an uncertain world. Say it like you mean it. Say it like it matters, because it does. Good morning, Our Lady. And may this day, when with all its weight and all its wonder, be the beginning of the morning that changes everything. Whoever keeps his word, in that person, the love of God is truly perfected. 1 John 2:5. If this message touched your heart, take one more second before you close this video. Leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this today, and subscribe to this channel so you never miss a message like this one. Every morning is a new chance to begin again, and you don't have to begin alone.